Hello, everybody. Happy holidays, or I want to say happy after holidays, but we still have New Year's coming up. I was planning to go to Disney World for Christmas, and just like last year, I ended up not doing anything because I got sick. I don't know what the hell happened, but I was, and it really headache, blowing my nose every 5 minutes, literally. I didn't really do anything but just stay home and binge movies, play video games. So I'm here chilling in my Black Panther pajamas. I didn't go to work. Well, tonight I was supposed to go to work, but I called in sick, and I may actually call off another night. So I'm still not quite there. I don't really have my voice back quite yet. But man, I was so worried. I took the stupid COVID test because I was like, what the hell? I haven't eaten anything all day actually. So I'm about to eat some soup. I'm just gonna force myself to eat some leftover chicken soup that I have. But I didn't eat anything at all yesterday. I had Tylenol like maybe 2 or 3 times. I took Tylenol because of headache. But man, it was really just blowing my nose to the point where my nose is starting to get sore. It's starting to peel a little bit. Headache it really wouldn't go away. And not really chills, but I guess you could say like hot and cold flashes. I I I take Uber and Lyft a lot. I don't take public transportation a lot. So I don't know. I don't know how I must have gotten in contact somehow. Maybe my immune system was low. I don't know. Maybe I was stressed out or something. I just don't know. But man, I haven't been this sick in a long time. And I knew it was something serious when I didn't have an appetite. But I think the worst, it's safe to say the worst is over with. So I can start to just kind of get back to my life again. But I was really bummed out because I couldn't do anything for Christmas. And it's like, this is the second year that this shit has happened to me. But the last year, I think I actually did have COVID last year. Even though I didn't take the test. It just felt like food tasted weird. I had like no appetite for like 5 days. And headache. I think I might have had hot flashes, chills, maybe sweating like crazy. But man, there's just like I wouldn't even wish this on my worst enemy. So I haven't really been able to do much of posting. I'm gonna get back to posting and getting back into being productive, working on my comics and my films and things. But when you're sick, it's just like you just kind of, you know, you gotta take a break from everything. So I've been doing like a lot of sleeping, just getting as much rest as possible, and just thinking about life and really just putting things in perspective. I want 2023 to be a lot more productive than 2022 has been. So I'm gonna really be focusing on finishing my comic books. I've got like several comic books that I've been working on since 2020, and I also been working on my Nerds with Badges. As you know, Nerds with Badges. I don't know, maybe you don't know. It might be the first time you're watching my videos, but I started a series. It's like a podcast, I guess, called Nerds with Badges, and basically the concept is that I network with other, well, yeah, network with other nerds with badges. So a nerd with badge, a nerd with a badge, like myself. I'm a security guard, so I have the badge, and I'm a nerd, so I'm a nerd with a badge. So my take on a nerd with a badge is just someone who's into comic books, video games, technology, nerdy things. So the concept would that be sort of like, I mean, I look at stuff like The View, And you know, these types of I've seen a lot of different videos on YouTube, content creators talking about different things, and sometimes they have guests, sometimes it's more than one person, sometimes it's co-hosts. So I tried different things. I think I started doing Nerds with Badges earlier this year officially. So I tried doing it with a co-host, and you know, just trying to find someone that has my same energy and passion for things. It's been kind of, well, I mean, it. I haven't really been successful, I don't think. I mean, to some degree, I would say, but a lot of people that I meet are not really passionate about a lot of things, and I don't know. I don't. That just sounds like I'm being mean. People have different passions, but as far as like, especially meeting other people of color that are gay, that are into the things that I'm into, because I'm really big into video games and comic books, and video games, comic books, movies. I'm like a pop cultural uh, aficionado, but I don't know a lot of other black gay guys that are into things. At least not on my level, my level of being passionate. I know a lot of straight people that are into these things, but I'm not. The demographic, it seems like it's still primarily white. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing, but there are a lot of African Americans that are into fantasy and science fiction, but I think that the demographic is pretty small compared to like, definitely like white guys. I think especially white guys. Well, I mean, that's really, I think, from my observation. And Hispanics are into these things as well, and typically very artistic people, but still, I don't know that there are a lot of them working in the industry, at least not to the point where they have enough power to create the content that really features them. This is the same thing with black people. There are some black people that love this stuff and that work in the industry, but maybe don't have the power, and that may be the part of the reason. I feel like I'm going off on a tangent, but I think that that might be a part of why you don't see a lot of like black superheroes or black video game characters and stuff, because there are not a lot of us working high up enough, or maybe that the passion is not really there. It's just like it's a a science, I guess, just trying to explain everything and just how everything works. I mean, there are African American people, African Americans that like fantasy and science fiction, that are big nerds like I am, but I live, eat, and breathe this stuff, and I really probably should be working in the industry in some capacity, because I think that I would definitely be I would be doing more projects that are more reflective of my point of view, because I don't really see that a lot. But it's like if you don't really see yourself, or you just don't really have the passion, because not everybody wants to be a filmmaker, just because you love films, just because you like playing video games. And like I said, there are a lot of black people that like science fiction and fantasy and video games, and there are some of us that work in these fields and these industries, but it's the the amount of people of color that are being like featured as like superheroes and video game characters, it's low. And some people say that it's because of the powers that be. They don't want these images out there. Maybe they're fighting to push back. I don't know. I mean, to some extent that may be true, but I just think that by and large, most of us just don't care about working in these things. I think we would rather just go pay and see people in movies, and just really don't want to get involved so much. But there's a history behind all that. I've heard some different theories. I'm not going to get into that in this particular video, but I have heard that back in the day that, the certain industries were not doing so well, and like the arts, and maybe the more realistic, being doctors and lawyers, these were things that were more attractive to certain people, and this may be why certain fields are dominated by certain people. Like I said, these are theories. But this is just some things that I've heard, and there may be some truth in the matter. But you look around and you do see, when you watch the cartoon or you watch movies and you watch the credits, you'll see like a lot of like names of like Asians and Hispanic and more whites, and then you may see like a few black people. And I think that this is like it's like I realize what I'm up against, because it is like climbing up a hill, like, and that song by Kate Bush. It's so popular these days. I mean, you're trying to get up that hill, you're climbing up a mountain because you got these obstacles. And you may even, as a black person that is into fantasy and science fiction and comics and video games, you may even receive pushback from other black people because they don't understand your passion, or they may feel like because no one is really doing it, your your possibility of success is really like, because they don't know. And I think also in your circle of people that you hang around with, that that you have, even your work environment, your social your social your social life, you have people around you that may not quite understand. They might not really get you because they don't know anybody else like you that's really successful, that looks like them. So this, trying to get the support may be difficult. Even as a black gay man, I sometimes I feel frustrated that I don't get the support from the gay and lesbian community. Because people always like, you got the gay and lesbian community, you got to use that, and you got to, like, that's your demographic. But then I'm a black person, I'm a black guy. And, I definitely am very, very, very knowledgeable of my culture. But I don't want to beat people upside the head with a lot of this stuff. You have to figure out a way to be universal in your approach, I guess, to get your message out. You really don't want to offend anyone, but it's really just about, just trying to get yourself out there, trying to build an audience, trying to connect. And getting back to Nerds with Badges, that was me trying to reach out, because Nerds with Badges is like, it doesn't matter whether you're black, white, straight, gay, Asian, Middle Eastern, Hispanic, or whatever, even, I mean, female. I mean, it doesn't matter. Uh, it doesn't matter. It's just, if you are a nerd with a badge, I would like to network with you and talk with you about some of the things that are affecting my life. And these things are definitely would be video games. I mean, I'm sitting here probably gonna get in some God of War before I, eat this soup. But I want to definitely talk about some things, because I think that, oops, I hit this damn button on the controller. I definitely want to talk about some things that are going on in the video game industry, in the comic book industry, movie industry. All these things are affecting us. And I do think that we should be making more of these, we should be more actively involved in these mediums. And I figure, the saying is that it takes a village to raise a child. I think it takes a village to make a film too, or to make anything. So if it's just you, it's just more harder. But if you get more people, then, so you build this community and then you make projects together. And I have seen other communities do these types of things. So, there's money and there's power in numbers. You get people together collectively, think the same way and feel the same way. You can build something. You can make movies. You can make video games. You can do comic books that speak, for you, and to other people that can relate. So that's what I want to do. I don't want to sit around and just feel like, oh, I'm mad because I don't see this and I don't see us being represented and all this. I think that, you get to a point where you realize, okay, well, maybe I can't just sit around and wait for somebody else to do this. I need to put my money where my mouth is, as they say. So that's what I want to do in Nerds with Badges. For me, it's just like that's my platform. This would be nice to actually be able to make a living. So I haven't really made any money off of anything that I posted on social media. My videos, sometimes I get pretty good numbers with certain videos, but mostly I will always post videos because I have passion for it, and I like talking to people. I like talking. I mean, I know sometimes people don't like it when you talk a lot because they can't communicate worth a shit. so it pisses them off, but whatever. But I mean, I don't really consider myself a social butterfly because I'm a little introvert. And sometimes I think that that may not necessarily be my real personality. It may just be a result of some things that I've got to unlearn from my environment and the people that I've been around in my life. Because I think I should be more social. I think I should definitely be more out there. But because I've had to deal with low self-esteem, my personality may have been submerged to some degree. But being able to express yourself through the arts, it definitely helps. So for me, it's the writing and being able to talk to people and just being able to figure out different creative ways to express myself. So it's the writing, drawing, and really just talking to people. And I like giving people platforms to talk. It gives you a chance to see that you have things in common with people. I mean, I think when you listen to people talk, other nerds with badges, at least for me, from different backgrounds, we still have these things in common. Even though we are nerds with badges, we might have different backgrounds, but we still have certain things in common. We all love video games, we love comics, we like science fiction, we like Star Wars, we like Lord of the Rings. And I could talk about all these things all day, literally. And it would be nice to meet other people that I can talk with about these things. So I know I've been able to like make peace with the fact that I might not connect with a lot of people that look like me, because a lot of people that look like me might not be into these things. So I got to be more open. And I've always been open. I've never been, I grew up in New York. So I was around so many different cultures, and even living here in California. And I know that some people say, well, we're all around a lot of cultures and stuff, but it's like, really, when was the last time you sat down and had dinner with someone else that didn't look like you? I mean, those are the questions you got to ask yourself, because you know you can be around a lot of cultures, but doesn't necessarily mean that you are really, you know you know what I mean. You got to come outside your comfort zone. So I mean, but a lot of the things that I love, they are made by white people. I mean, Star Wars, well, Jewish people. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of video games are not made by black people. And a lot of the comic books, a lot of my superheroes that I grew up with. So it makes sense. I mean, it does make sense the more I think about it, that my my tribe may be more, well, I was gonna say my skin color, but I'm a black person, but I'm lighter than some people that are white. But a lot of the people that I may be in my circle, they may actually not be African American. That's something I have to make peace with, because what do? You go where you fit in. You go where where you feel a sense of belonging. And if I don't feel that I'm connecting with my own people on that level, then of course it makes sense. Not saying that I don't, I do, with the other intellectual people, the other nerds, and there are nerds that are black. But I don't know. It's almost like, are we hidden? It's like a subculture or something. I mean, it's a weird thing. The more I think about it, in some ways it doesn't make sense, because a lot of people I grew up with are big into these things. But I guess the inclination to get into these industries, animation, comics, filmmaking, maybe it just didn't seem realistic. Maybe it just wasn't something that seemed feasible, and that's why you could have people that really love these things, but just don't really feel that much of a passion to want to work in it. Maybe they would, it would rather be something else that seems more realistic, like your better chances of success. I lived in a shelter when I first came to LA, and I noticed that people that were going into the arts were getting jobs. They were not getting jobs, and the people that were taking security classes when I was living in the shelter, they were people that were taking security training, and just people that were getting jobs. They were getting work like literally like weeks, a week in some cases after they, I got a job like 2 weeks after I graduated in security. So I definitely understand some people might look at certain industries as as childish, and I remember I still deal with that. People tell you you're like a kid, man. You're like a kid, and when they see you talking about video games and comics, and these are billion-dollar industries, billion-dollar industries, and it's not like you can't make it in these industries. It's just maybe harder, and part of that might be because there are not a lot of people that look like you that are working in these industries, or it may be that those people, the people that look like you, maybe they're not able to relate to you and connect with you. So of course they're going to have a better community, a better sense of community with people that think like them. So that may be a part of it. So like I said before, it's kind of a science, but you get in where you fit in. You make your community. You connect with people. And it's not going to matter what their color is or what their culture is if you're able to like have a common ground. So Nerds with Badges is, it's for everyone that is a nerd with a badge, whether you're a cop, security guard, military. As long as you have passion for these things, I just would like to talk and dialogue with people about all these different things that I love and how it affects my life, how it affects your life. And, maybe we can talk about working on some projects together, because that would be like the icing on the cake, to come together with people, dialogue about things, these industries, how they're changing, the good things, the bad things. Like for example, right now, the Activision thing going on with Microsoft. Maybe we could talk about the ongoing, the price increases for video games and computer parts, and maybe the industry hasn't leapt forward as much as we would have. I mean, it has been COVID, so I mean, that probably has a lot to do with it. I mean, I think it's safe to say that the industry has definitely been hit. Even the film industry has been affected a lot. But I would like to talk with other people. I mean, I like to do my videos and talk, but to be able to network with other people, to talk with other people, and to get other points of views across. Because I tried doing the co-hosting thing, and in some cases it was successful, and in some cases it was not. But I'd be willing to give, I definitely would be willing to give someone a platform. So if you are a nerd with a badge and you want to talk about things in the industry, technology, comics, video games, pop culture, I would definitely be interested in dialoguing with you and featuring you on my show, in my show. And it's really our show, because it's a community. That's my goal, is to build a community, and to build an empire, because this is a platform for us. But this is building the foundations, because we're talking, sharing ideas, and then coming up with like different, different, you know, buildings, different ways of I'm trying to say, God, I'm getting flabbergasted. I think when you sit down, you talk about ideas, and you share things, you come up with plans, and then you share your resources, and then you build things. And that's what I want to do with Nerds with Badges, because I'm not just doing this for my good looks. But I mean, I do like talking and stuff, but I want to definitely make something out of all of this. I want to build something, and I want to be able to support myself too. So, like I said, I'm always going to make my videos, but I think that I have something, and there's probably other people out there that might feel the same way. So, this would be like a chance, because there is power in numbers. There really is. It's just one person with an idea. Yeah, you can do things, but if you got a group of people, I'm gonna get biblical for a minute. But people say, that the saying was it, where there's two or three, I am there, or something like that. I think that's how the saying goes. But the trick is, to get people that are definitely on your level, that share your passion, and people that are honest, and just people that really understand the power in numbers. You know, people that can network. Having social skills is important too. But I think a lot of times people are not used to sharing and working together and building communities. And I look and I see some cultures are very, very successful. And I look at them and I'm like, yeah, you know, I understand the structure, the family structure. Some people have mastered that. Some cultures have mastered that. And even though they might not necessarily get along perfectly, they're able to come together, you know, when it counts. And I've always, I think I've always wanted, it's like, I'm going to use a comic book as an example. But when I look at the X-Men, you know, that's an example of like a group of people, a demographic came together to build something because they had to, you know, to survive and to thrive. You know, the X-Men have come a long way, and the comic book has gotten really complicated right now, but it's still the concept is still the same. So that was, I guess this was me getting a lot off my chest because I haven't been able to post anything for a few days, and I've had a lot on my mind, and I want to just put it out there. And all I can do, all I can do is really be honest, you know, and just you know, put myself out there and just, you know, just talk to people because, you know, honesty. I mean, well, I mean, what are you without, you know, the truth? I think a lot of people, well, you know, need to understand that. I think that there are some things that have changed about how people relate to each other now, how we treat each other, and some things like they feel like this become the new normal, but it's not. It shouldn't be the new normal. I think socially, sometimes I think socially we've gone backwards, and you know, some people say that it's because of technology that these things have happened. Just the ever-growing, fast pace of the world, how people have to adapt, and I think that, excuse me, I think that it's important that we realize that, you know, this, you gotta live your life. You know, you gotta be true to yourself, and you gotta look out for yourself and your family. But you know, we gotta treat each other better. You know, we gotta realize that we do need each other. I mean, it's important. It shouldn't always be when some big disaster happens we come together. I think that, you know, we need to get back to, you know, a time when we did work together. I think that that's an art form that may have kind of been lost. And I think that sometimes that may be why the world is the way that it is today. But I'm not going to preach. I'm going to eat this soup. Hopefully it didn't get cold because I was talking a lot longer than I thought I was. But I just want to put this video out, and I will try to get back to posting regularly this week. I'm still planning to do something for New Year's. I really want to go to Disney for New Year's, but it didn't happen. But I'm going to probably go for. I couldn't make it for Christmas, but I'm planning to go for New Year's to Disney. So I'm gonna put it out there again. If anybody's interested, you know, just hit me up. But I know I got one friend who says he's gonna go with me, so we'll go take lots of pictures and have a good time. And I am out of here for now. And all you guys, take care of yourself and enjoy the rest of your holidays. Drink all the hot chocolate, relax, binge all your favorite TV shows, make your resolution or resolutions, I should say. Save your money, stay in school, be cool, don't do drugs. Anyway, I'm out of here. It is exactly 3:24 a.m. and I will probably be up for another couple of hours playing video games until I get tired.